Hello, everyone. In today's video, our team will discuss with you how China's EV industry can improve the Australian economy. This video uses a variety of analysis methods to analyze the economic advantages of the Chinese electric vehicles in the Australian consumer market from different perspectives. So these are my teammates, and I will present you with the perfect presentation, hopefully. All right. So when discussing China's exporting electric vehicles to Australia, and boosting Australia's economy, let's talk about the important political elements we consider. So the first political element is China's unique trade policy. China's foreign policy and international situation significantly affect its exports of electric vehicles. China has been promoting the Belt and Road Initiative globally to enhance export opportunities for its electric vehicles by strengthening cooperative relations with Australia. So secondly, let's talk about China's international commitment towards climate change. As part of its response to global climate change, China has pledged to reduce greenhouse emissions and promote new energy vehicles. This policy not only changes the domestic market, but also affects the international market layout of Chinese products, including the export of electric vehicles to Australia. Thirdly, the new energy vehicle industry development plan from 2021 to 2035 issued by the State Council of China outlines the strategic measure for electric vehicle industry. The plan emphasizes innovation, improving quality assurance system, and building necessary infrastructures. China has significantly increased its exports of electric vehicles, with an increasing number of these vehicles reaching the Australian market. Last but not least, the electric vehicle exports are also affected by technical standards and compliance, which are often closely tied to political decisions. China has been actively ensuring that its electric vehicles meet the Australian import standards and safety regulations, and coordination and policy support between the Chinese and Australian governments have ensured reasonable commercial exchanges of the electric vehicles. So now I'll hand it over to Tenghai to talk about the elements of business environment.
Thanks, Jackson. For the Chinese EV industry looking to enter the Australian consumer market, there are several key elements of the business environment should be considered. Let's move to the next page. Market demand is an important element. The local EV market in Australia is small, but this does not mean that the public has no demand for EV. According to the Australia Daily Telegraph, the sales of Chinese brand cars in the Australian market reaches 145,000 units from January to September this year. Among them, EV sales account for more than half since 2023. The demand for Chinese EV in the Australian market has significantly increased. The relevant regulation and the government attitude regarding the importance of EV from Australia also need to be considered. The governments of various states have successfully introduced proliferation subsidy politics, which have increased the anxiety of the public to purchase electronic vehicles. And environmental impact is also a key fact. In recent years, Australia has attached great importance to energy conservation and emission reduction. The government has then it will strive to achieve the goals of net zero carbon emission, which provide opportunity for the development of Chinese zero carbon electronic vehicle brands such as MG and BYD. And welcome Zaka to the next part.
Thank you, Tanghai. So hello, everyone. Today, I'll be discussing on how Australia's trade policies are influencing the adoption of electric vehicle, EVs, in our country. So let's start with the zero import tariff on EVs. Australia's current trade guidelines provide a zero import tariff or mainstream vehicle companies. This pretty much leverages the existing free trade agreement with the key sourcing countries like China, Japan, South Korea, and the United States. So these policies are driving remarkable outcomes for the Australian economy. We are seeing incentives such as rebates, registration fee waivers, and strategic objectives that are aimed at phasing out internal combustion engine vehicles sales by the 2035 year period. And moving on to international trade agreements, Australia's participation in negotiations like the World Trade Organization, WTO, is crucial, as by having a collaboration with them, it will help us to reduce the trade barrier among the member governments, and we can enhance the competitiveness of Australian EV producer on a global market scale. So just to sum it up, these policies have positively impacted our economy by fostering more innovation, reducing carbon emission, and also generating jobs in the EV sector. So these are highlighting all of the Australia's social democratic policies and principles by addressing marketing imbalances and also promoting a sustainable economic development. So this approach is transforming Australia's automotive landscape and is also supporting a transition towards a cleaner and a more sustainable future. And now I'd like to hand over the next slide to my team member, Queenie. Please take it over.
So what role does the Australia government play in developing EV? Australia government is a social democratic state. Australia uses economic and social intervention to correct imbalances and inequality in the market system. Therefore, the role of the government in the EV market is very important. And the next page, in importing EV, the Australia government has promoted the import of electric cars through economic incentives such as zero import tariffs. Australia has signed free trade agreements with countries such as China, Japan, South Korea, and the United States. This initiative makes electric vehicles more accessible and affordable and encourages their adoption. And the next page, in selling EV, the government's strategy includes regulatory, normative, and cognitive approaches. Regulatory institutions, 6 out of 8 Australia states and territories have implemented dedicated EV or mobility strategies. For example, the Australia Capital Territory has set a target to end the sale of internal combustion engine cars by 2035. Such regulatory measures ensures a structured transition towards electric vehicles. For normative institution, investment in EV infrastructure like charging stations directly enhance usability and accessibility for all Australia. And for cognitive institutions through organizations like the Climate Working Group, the government promotes EV benefits via awareness campaigns and operational incentives such as priority lanes, fostering broader public acceptance. Overall, the Australia government's participation in the import EV business is defined by its attempts to foster EV adoption through financial incentive, tax breaks, and infrastructure development supports. Next.
Okay, thank you, Queenie. Now I'm taking over from this. So this part is about the role of technological innovation in the EV industry development. And let's take the battery as examples. The battery as the heart of the electric vehicles. The technical innovation in this field directly affects the performance, cost, and the driving range of electric vehicles. A document called The Global Diffusion of Electric Vehicles, the Lessons from the First Decade report, mentioned that the improvements in battery energy density, faster charging, and lower cost are all benefits brought about by technological innovation. Those advances make electric vehicles more attractive to consumers and improve their market competitiveness. Next page, please. So the question comes to why is China's EV industry and why is Chinese EV technological like? Compared with the other countries, the China's electric vehicles technology is merely reflecting the field of manufacturers. China's EV brands are pressed for their cost-effective and innovative solutions in the environment and smart driving, and increasingly popular at home and abroad. Thermal retention, China has also more based on the charging infrastructure. Check the fixed rate on PowerPoint. China has taken over half amount of charging connectors of the world, and the trends looks crazy. China has exported more than 3 million vehicles, and they're mostly electric vehicles, making it the second largest auto exporter after Japan. Now let's move to the financial issues.
Well, thanks, Jay. Since the business is so attractive, global financial implications need attention. Unlike Australia's liberal economy policies, the Chinese adopt a managing floating exchange rate system, and the main factors of the fluctuation is policy. Other geopolitical factors such as the trade conflicts between China and the US will affect the import business. With the signing of the China and the Australian free trade agreements, there's a foundation for the long-term cooperation. At present, most of global transactions are based on the SWIFT system. Considering the cost of the US dollar settlement and the risk of the monitoring, the free trade agreements allow Chinese institutions to participate in the RITS, which facilitates the Australian dollar settlements between the Chinese and the Australians. At the same time, the establishment of the Bank of China in Sydney can also facilitate the settlement of the rand in Australia. Financial risk mainly comes from the instabilities of the global economy. From the above tables, we can see the Russia and the Ukraine conflicts and the Gaza conflicts have brought sharp fluctuation to the CCFI. But the conflict just little impact on the routes from China to Australia. With the latest this routes index, it's just about 790. It's a very low levels. The hedging fraud exchange rate risk through the financial derivatives such as contracts and options, as well as the financial control instruments by the Australian authorities. And now let's move on the conclusion. This business is not only beneficial to the Australian government, but also allow Australian residents to experience more preferential EVs and more generally promote the goal of the energy conservation and the carbon reduction. The last page is about our reference. And we have to say goodbye to the brief introductions, and thank you for your watching.